Welcome to the Growing Pair episode 7. James, we reached a milestone, another milestone, episode 7. My name is Isaac Goldfarb, and with me here is
James Edge.
How do you feel about the number 7?
I was more excited by the 11 followers on Spotify, to be fair. I think that's pretty good going. I was only thought it'd be like one or two. So pretty happy with that.
The Growing Pair, that's what we are, the Growing Pair. Shall we give a bit of a reminder what the Growing Pair is before we go to the topic of today?
Yeah,
Go for
over
it.
to you.
Go for it.
Well, me and Isaac were two aspiring life coaches. Basically, we wanted to share kind of a really, really raw, real sense of what we're going through, discuss interesting topics, get some guest speakers on, and basically build awareness around self-awareness and what life coaching can do for people who probably aren't familiar with it, and kind of demystify what it all is, which in reality is just helping people do things that they want to do.
Absolutely beautiful, James. And you know what I want to bring today to this table?
Mm-hmm.
I'm Jewish, the Jewish people are celebrating Passover. I'm not very religious. It's not going to be like I'm going to preach you now. It's not about that. But Passover is celebrating freedom, liberation. And I want to talk about the word freedom.
Big word.
It's a big word. And I guess we won't be able to cover freedom from all angles. But I think in terms of the life coaching, I want us to discuss about the inner freedom. When we are finding, for example, limiting beliefs in ourselves, how and what is the best way to let them go and to suddenly feel a bit more free in ourselves?
I like it. I like the word freedom. It means a lot of things
Tell
to
me,
me.
tell me.
Most people, when they say freedom, and well, this is a wild generalization, but they think of time, financial, physically being able to like go where they want. But for me, the freedom is in your mind, and I think it kind of links in with what you said. These limiting beliefs that we have when you are, let's say, fully in control of your mind, you have peace, you have that clarity, like you do feel like you are able to make decisions not based on self-doubt or limiting beliefs, that you can do X, Y, and Z because there's nothing there holding you back. And that kind of like power in the mind and that like peacefulness and clarity, that for me is like the freedom that I really aspire to.
So you're
Does
talking
that does that
you're
make
talking
sense?
more about spiritual freedom.
Yeah, I'd say more. Yeah, I'd say around spiritual freedom. Yeah, probably is that.
It's quite hard concept to grasp. While you were speaking, I was trying to think, at what age do you think we understand what freedom is? Because if you think about it, as babies, as kids, as children, we feel like free to do whatever we want, and sometimes we're free to do whatever we want, and hoping not to get caught and be naughty. And you know what I mean? At what age we
Mm.
actually understand the meaning or the depth meaning of the word freedom? Or do we really understand at this age what it means?
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, I don't think we ever truly understand freedom until we get to that stage of actually truly feeling free. And that may come whenever during your life. There'll be moments when you feel more free, let's say time, financially, physically, like you're going to feel a bit more free. But I think true freedom can happen at any point in your life, and you'll know when that is. But yes, you can definitely do things in the meantime to help you get that sense of feeling more free.
So if we think about spiritual freedom, how do you get, or what do you do in order to get that freedom?
I think it's just following what you feel is right for you, like in your gut, staying authentic, doing the things that feel right to you and not hitting those limiting beliefs, those self-doubts, those you shoulds, you should be doing that, you should be doing that, or why aren't you doing it? And following that kind of path, because I think that's always going to make you feel a little bit more shackled in life than, someone who is free. Again, this is just my opinion, people may 100% differ with this, but, someone who is free wouldn't be thinking of that, I should be doing that, should be doing that, or I need to do this, need to do
Yeah.
that because of X, Y, and Z from back in the past, and that. And they're following a path that they are leading themselves. They are the captain of the ship, that they're leading their life in that direction that they want. That for me is kind of how I imagine true freedom feeling like, when you're driving your ship that way, instead of having to think of where you should be going or who you should be with, or all that kind of stuff.
Since I'm in this path of a life coach, in any conversation, I feel like I'm wearing the hat of a life coach.
Hmm.
And in a way, I would like to feel free sometimes to have a chat without wearing that hat.
Mm.
And what you're saying to me about using the words I need, I should, every time I speak to a person now, no matter what it is, it could be a random call from a recruiter or a salesperson or whatever you name it, and they use the word I should, I need. I was like,
Mm.
ping. It's like it's like the light bulb above my head. It's like, shall I challenge? Shall I? It's a path that I'm so happy to walk
Hmm.
in of this life coaching path. But when it comes to freedom, I'm not feeling really free.
Hmm. What do you think would make you feel more free?
Connecting to myself, understanding that probably there is nothing to be free from
Hmm.
because I chose this path and I chose to be there for people. It's one of those things where I guess with time
Hmm.
I will get used to it and I will learn there is nothing to be free from.
Yeah. Do you mean that we've kind of created these like parameters in our head that has then created a sense of not feeling free, which are all like of our own making and to an
Yes.
extent hypothetical, not real. And that's why we feel not free. So once we get rid of those barriers, those parameters we put on ourselves in our head, then that feeling of freedom should just be us being us, like normal, right?
Yes, if you take, for example, a comparison to physical things, like I have a mortgage.
Hmm.
I'm not free physically. I'm not free from it until I
Yeah.
pay it off or until I sell the house and whatever. I'm not free from.
Hmm.
Other people can be in a job they don't like, but they have to stay because this is the payment and blah blah blah, or in a relationship they don't like. And what I would like to challenge here is even if it feels there is a physical block to be free, I believe there is a way to find the freedom. As you said, it's a lot of our way of thinking.
Mm. Yeah.
So if
Like,
the mortgage is something that really bothers you in life, get rid of it, sell the house and find a different way of living. If the job you don't like, come on, there are
yeah.
ways out of it. But it's us making that jail of thoughts that makes us not
Yeah,
free.
yeah. That made me think of a good example. I was speaking to my friend the other day, and even though I love my flat in Wimbledon, I feel tied to it. It's almost like a bit of a ball and chain because I have a mortgage. I bought it with Help to Buy, and I've always like thought, I would like to move somewhere else, live in a different place of the country or abroad or whatever, but I can't because of this. I've got X, Y, and Z. I was speaking to my friend. They were like, "Why don't you just sell it then?" And I was just like, because my parents X, Y, and Z helped me with the house. It'll be bad, that kind of stuff. So it's a barrier I've put in my head or myself, but I'm continuing to feel like a little bit tied down with it. But it was interesting because yeah, my friend kind of made it sound really simple. Like, it is that mindset. Like if I do want to feel a little bit more free, then I could just sell it. But then you come up with all these excuses as to why you wouldn't.
So in a way, what I'm taking from it, it's our excuses.
And fear, because I'm like,
Fear and excuse. Well, excuse can be fear, but all those barriers are preventing us from being free. I wonder if we had another person here, because I'm
mm,
sure freedom means different to people.
yeah.
One person can say to me, "Oh, for me, free is if I had all the money in the world and I would be free," right? And it ends there.
Yeah, with that though, I would challenge that the money, the time, the physical location, they are kind of easy methods of, feeling a bit freer. But my personal belief is that let's say we gave them £1 million, there might be something else that they are wanting or looking after, which is going to give them that feeling of true freedom. So I would always challenge whether it is the money, having money to be financially free, or whether it's actually something else that they're certain. Maybe their freedom is they want to be, maybe when they get to a stage where they're respected by their family and everyone, that then in their mind allows them to be free, but the money was a way to show them that they could be successful and earn that respect when maybe they could have earned the respect another way. But do you know what I mean? It's like not exactly it's a vehicle to get to another sense of freedom in their mind, potentially. That was just an idea.
What plays my head is I started this conversation, and I'm going to finish on a very heavy line now. I started this conversation about the Israelites and the liberation from Egypt because they were slaves. They were held against the wheels in a place. Everything we talked here about is the inner freedom, but sometimes there are some scenarios where people are not free because of cultural, because of life events, terror attacks, you name it. So it's a heavy note to finish, but I'm taking from today's episode is if you have the control, you have the control to be free.
Yeah. I guess like to your off the back end of your point there, like we are in a lucky situation. We're not in a bad situation with our country or facing any disasters and things like that. So we are lucky to be in this situation. And yes, if we are fortunate enough, what we can control, we can control.
In the terminology of freedom, when I thought about this word, I felt light. But as we discuss it more and more, it became heavier. More, you know what I mean? It's like something you take and it would be nice to talk about freedom, wouldn't it? And
Yeah.
then suddenly, oh my God, this is heavy. This is heavy. Oh my God, it's 10 kilos. I can't lift it anymore.
Yeah. Well, I told you I like freedom, so I probably naturally went a bit heavy with it. So yeah.
So if you like this podcast, if you like this episode, of course, follow us on Spotify because James loves to see those numbers going up. Makes him feel
20
free.
we'll celebrate when we get to 20.
How are you going to celebrate, shall I ask?
No idea. Probably go for a walk.
And of course, if you watch us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. James, how they can get in touch with you if our viewers and listeners want to.
James at v-edgecoaching.co.uk.
But don't forget, you can email us also to thegrowingpair@gmail.com. This is the email of this podcast. Give us some ideas if you want us to talk about anything. If you have any comments, things you completely disagree with us, you're more than welcome to share your opinions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wish you a happy Easter break because you're going away. So enjoy your break. We will be back in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
So thank you again for today and see you soon.
Thanks everyone. Thanks guys. Bye.